Let's do one more time. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you our ambassador Harlan, two-star ambassador Harlan Hall, to joining us tonight. And we would like to get your story of success, how you did it, how you reached this level with a full-time job as a two-star ambassador. Would you like to share with us how did you hear about this opportunity, Travorium, and how you decided to join?
So, first of all, Anna, I do want to say thank you for allowing me to be on here to share with everybody. I always get excited when it's time to talk Trevorium, right? Trevorium has just been a part of my life now. So I get eagerly excited when it's time to talk about Trevorium. So, just a little bit about me and Trevorium. I was introduced to this by a friend of mine named Billy Ellis. Actually, it was Don and Paul Scales, who Paul Scales is an ambassador himself. But it was like it was about 3 years ago, actually, that they introduced this to me. And I just didn't respond, right? I didn't respond. I mean, I didn't ignore them. It's just that at the time, I just didn't make any decisions on becoming a member or really taking a look at it. So probably about 6 months it went by, and my wife was saying how she wanted to travel through a travel club, and I was like, okay, great, works for me because I know we're gonna save a lot of money. So that's when I called Paul Scales, and they drove to my house at almost midnight. And they sat down with me, and I never saw a presentation or anything, and then they just told me about it. And I just looked at my wife and said, all right, you ready to get started? And she was like, yeah. And that was it. That's how we got started.
Wow, amazing, amazing. That's why the wife was your inspiration, right?
Yes. She pulled the triggers.
Okay, I just want to ask you next question. When you started, right? Your family supported, right? We heard that your wife has supported you right away. What about like other family members or friends?
Ah, no. Okay. Um, it's interesting. So there are a few of my friends. My best friend, actually, when I told him about it, it was kind of weird, but I went to his house, and I went to his house, but I wasn't going to talk to him about Trevorium. I just kind of was stopping through, and I just mentioned, and I was like, hey, listen, I joined the travel club again, but we used to be in one before, prior to this. And when I told him, I said, yeah, I'm gonna start traveling, and I said, I decided I'll do the business portion too. So he just went to his room. He came back and he just tossed the credit card at me, and I was like, "What are you doing?" He was like, "Well, if you're traveling and you're doing it, then I'm traveling and I'm doing it, right?" And I was like, "Okay, well, what membership do you want?" He said, "Well, what membership do you have?" And I said, "I have platinum." So he said, "All right, put me in platinum. That's what I want." And so that was he got started. But my very first person was Rosalind Mitchell. She's almost a three-star director now, and she just heard two words on the phone. She was on the phone when I talked to Don and Paul Scales before they came over, and she just heard two words: travel and money. And she said, "I want to hear about it." And once she heard about it, she got started probably 15 minutes after I did.
Wow,
Yep.
wow.
So, but as far as my family, no, I introduced it to a couple. I introduced it to a lot of my family members, and none of them were interested. They were like, good luck, congratulations, whatever. Do you? That's for you. This is and no, they didn't. None of
Wow, thank you for sharing. It's very important, right, to share not only your success, that like some people who is new, they're looking for you like, wow, you're a two-star ambassador right here. That's why probably everyone says yes to you. But it's nice to know that like not even for our ambassadors, people says right away yes, right? It
them.
takes
Oh,
time for some
absolutely.
people to join, right?
Right.
What was the hardest part for you at the beginning, and what keep you motivated?
What was the hardest part was the rejections, right? You know how it is that you get involved with something and you like it, you really like you really feel good about it, and you want to experience it with the people you care most about, and then they don't see it, and they so you kind of have to go through it, like it's almost like going through it by yourself, the experience by yourself. The hardest part was that my family didn't see the vision that I saw. And I was just thinking of how, if they did, how much fun we would all have as a family as we start to travel and have fun. And what greater way to be together than to travel and to build a business together as a family. So when they didn't, they just were uninterested. Like one of my family members told me, don't ever call him about it and don't ever introduce it to any of his friends either.
Wow, even not to his friends,
He
right?
said, "Don't." Yep. He said, "Listen, don't introduce this to any of your friends because I don't want them in this illegal thing that you're doing and all of this." So I was like, "What?" So that was in the beginning. That was the hardest part to deal with, is the rejection of the closest people I cared about.
But does it change, after the time when people see your results? Did they change their mind?
So now for the family members, no, it didn't. All right.
No?
No, it did not. All right. So I'll tell you this. Um, I don't. I have one family member outside of my immediate family, my wife and my daughter and my kids. They're all members. They all memberships. But I only have one family member, and that's my sister, who has this membership. Outside of a huge family, that's it. Just one. Still to this day, um, and they don't support. They don't really acknowledge much of my success or anything at all.
Wow, how is possible? Even nowadays, you show them the paychecks that you got everyday payments, and they still think that it's illegal stuff.
So no, so that one person did, but what happens is this. This is what I learned, right? A lot of times, people, you know how it is. We think that people are rejecting you. Sometimes they're really rejecting themselves. What happens is they're scared that they're going to make the wrong decision, right? And so, even though they see my successes, sometimes people actually, it's a way to give themselves an excuse, right? They see the success and they say, "Oh well, yeah, that's you. You like people. You like talking to people. This was made for you. Like this is your lane, right?" That's what kind of happened, and so it's kind of a way for them to make themselves feel good about themselves for actually not jumping in and becoming a part of
Well, yeah, they find in why they're supposed to not to join instead
it.
why they're supposed to
Exactly.
join, right?
Yep.
Okay, Harlan, can you also you now achieve the rank of two-star ambassadors? Congratulations with that.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
what did it take to reach that milestone?
Ooh, we. Well, let's start about what it took first of all to get to two-star director. Let's start there. All right.
Okay.
Um, so when I got started, and I started learning about the product and how incredible it was, I think the biggest thing for me is when I started having conversations with people like Darla Maria Roberts, Todd Strand, David Hart. I hadn't even really met David Hart yet, but and then you have like Dr. Phyllis Terry. She's on here now. I talk to people like Dr. Phyllis Terry, and when I was having conversation with those who've been there, Coach D, they've been here for a while. So when I had conversations with them, and they started telling me about their experiences. Keith Brown, who was very instrumental in me really getting started on the right waves, Keith Brown, because he was really excited, and I knew him because he was at the top of another network marketing travel club that we were in prior to this. So his credibility was incredible. So, but I just started having conversations with them about how good this really is. And when they started explaining it to me, and I was like, you know what, like this, you guys sound excited about it. So that's when it is that I really start figuring out a game plan. So Don and Paul Scales would do the presentations. I would just invite people. They would do the presentations. Some people show up, some people didn't. And I just said, you know what? Let's just get started with inviting as many people as we possibly can, and let's see what happens. Right? That's kind of where I was. Let's see how this goes. And it wasn't until we went on our first world tour.
Ooh.
We went on our first world tour to Costa Mujeres, Mexico. Stayed at the Grand Palladium, 5-star inclusive. I know a lot of people in here probably been there. When I got to that resort, and I saw how beautiful it was, The weather was gorgeous. We had a team of about maybe at the time I forgot how many people it was, but we had so much fun. And the fact that I knew that would have cost us about $3,800 and it only cost us $529, that's when I lost my mind. And so then I knew that this product was legit. I knew it was real, and that's when things really started to take off because then it became me sharing instead of selling, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I started doing. I was just telling the story. Y'all not going to believe this. And then once I got the two-star director, I was excited to get my ring. When my ring came, I was like, "Oh my gosh, we did it!" Like we had two-star director. Like I thought that's like to me, two-star director at that time was like being an ambassador. I was like, look at this, like my oh my gosh, and so fast forward, I had a conversation with David Hart. When I met David Hart and he told me his vision, one of the things I said to him is I came from a company that had over 5 million members. They did almost $1 billion in revenue in 1 year in the travel club. And when I said to him, I said, David, we can make this $1 billion company. And when he said to me, Harlan, it's not my that's not my goal. He said my goal is for me to build a legacy company that your grandkids will be able to live off of for the rest of their lives. And when he said that to me, it resonated with me like, wow, this guy is different than anyone I've ever met. And that's what really drilled me into locking down, saying, you know what? I'm going to build this. I'm going to help him build this business. And we're going to take this thing all the way to the top. And I just got excited. And we just started putting together a lot of travel parties,
Wow, you do a lot of travel
live
planning.
travel parties. So when you ask what is it that got me the two-star ambassador is focusing on helping everybody else reach ranks, focusing on helping everybody else be happy, focus on helping everybody else believe in themselves. And when you do that, and people start to see how much you care, that's when it is that they start to buy into it. And that's what has happened. And it led to the growth of the business where we have over 200 people getting daily pay. And now we have two ambassadors. I don't know, we have 20 something two stars, four three stars. We have no three 4 stars, four 3 stars. It's insane. We have a ton of 1 star directors, and everybody's on their way to ambassador. So that was the journey. That was in a nutshell. There's more things to it, but really, David Hart really summed it up when he said the biggest 3 things you can do, and that's what we did. We just shared the business, and oh yeah, share the business.
Always the same, remember, right? To do one thing,
Right,
share the business every
share
day.
the business.
Um,
Yep.
yes, I also would like to congratulate you because I know that recently you set an incredible new record by developing a new ambassador, right? You got
Yes.
a new ambassador in your team for less than in 90 days. Could you walk us through the behind the scenes strategy and work that made the rapid growth just before the conference?
Absolutely. So first of all, the guy who came over, he actually came from a previous network marketing company. So he actually was a top income earner there. So he had a massive following and a massive team. So when he came over, it was easier for him to have some of those people come. A lot of those people actually come. And then what he did was he just got consistent and he just started helping those people build. And they build fast, like their credibility. But the thing about them is that they are doing the business all day, every day. So that's how it is that he what he does is he builds a momentum and he never lets it go, right? And so from the moment they wake up till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, it's all showing the business closing, showing the business closing every day. And that's what they're doing. Even that's what they're doing now. So they're in Charlotte right now. He flew from Florida to Charlotte to do massive travel parties all day, all weekend long. But that's just the energy that he has. That's the credibility that he has, and that's the hunger that he has. So He just made sure that he showed it as much as possible and took his his business into his own hands.
Wow, wow. Can you tell us, like, because we know that specifically about, let's say, your team, you're big about the travels parties, right?
Right.
How this idea come to you? Like, how you decided, like, maybe someone in your team, like in your upline, or you with your downline, decided like to be so popular with travel parties?
So we used to do travel parties before. Um, it's funny because when COVID happened, people really just didn't want to be face to face anymore, right?
Yes,
Prior to COVID, everything everyone did was face to face, right? In the industry, period. Zoom wasn't that big in the industry prior to COVID,
yes,
because the best way to actually get a feeling for what you're getting involved with is face to face, so people can feel your energy. So I just said, you know what? Let's start. Let's go back to that. Like I literally, there's one of my buddies who actually introduced me to the industry. He was the first ambassador on my team. I learned a lot from him. His name is Chris Bailey. All right, Chris Bailey. When he signed up and he came over, he was very instrumental in a lot of things because he's very well organized. He's very dedicated. But he and I and our 4-star director Vegas Goss, we used to do travel parties a lot, right back in the day. So we were like, you know what? Let's just go with travel parties because people get to feel our energy. We get to build the culture of what it is that we're building. Like it's easy. I tell people a lot of times when people paid $135 to join Trevorium, they're really not paying $135 to join Trevorium. They're paying it to join you, right? It's because they believe in you, they feed it off your energy, they trust you, they like you enough to say yes. And when some people trying to figure out why it is that they can show this to somebody and they're like, no, or they don't want to be bothered with them, it's just a chance for you to reflect, right? It's a time for you to reflect on yourself. Like, okay, am I of good character? Like, am I doing things the right way? Am I treating people the right way? Am I treating people special? I just learned early in life that if in order to be successful in life, you have to treat people the way they deserve to be treated. I don't care who you are. If you're a janitor and you're picking up trash, you have to understand there's an importance for that janitor that's picking up trash because you don't want to walk somewhere that is nasty and filthy. So who's going to be the one responsible for picking it up? Well, that person. So now, because of the job that the janitor is doing, you get to feel good about walking in a clean atmosphere. So his job was just as important as the next person's, right? So you have to let that person know how much you appreciate them. And I think that gives you the credibility when you start to build a business because people see you care, right? It's not just about the money. People need to know you care. So that's one of the things that we get when we do these live travel parties. And then it's travel. Who don't want to have fun, right? When we do our travel parties, we have fun. We have music, we have food, we have drinks, we have fun. All right. And who wouldn't want to join that, right? Who
yes.
wouldn't?
Who wouldn't? Yeah. Specifically, if some people not traveling, at least they could join a travel party, right? To feel
Right.
the
Traveling, we
energy.
travel. That's right. Let's party. We're gonna
Yeah.
party. I mean, it's about enjoying life, right? That's the whole purpose of this is to be able to enjoy your life.
Yeah.
So that's what we do.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you, Harlan. It's like something we would like to learn from you because we still here in Canada, we didn't do like a lot of travel parties, but we would like to start. That's
I
why
need
we
to get
want.
out to Canada. I'm gonna come out to Canada. I think I may come to. I'm going. Actually, I'll be in Canada this year in Saskatchewan.
Ah, Saskatchewan. Okay.
I don't know how far that is from you in Regina.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's far from
It's
Toronto.
far. Yeah. Well, that's the closest out. Yeah, my son plays baseball out there, so that's why I'll be out there. But
If you will be in Toronto, we always welcome. We will meet you
I,
here.
you know
Just
what?
let us know.
I should come to Toronto. I
Okay.
should. Maybe I'll see if I can work that out.
Yeah, but come during warm time, okay? Because during this weather, it's not so fun.
Yeah, summertime. That's when he's there in the summertime.
Ah, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, can I ask you, like you told us that it's take you some time. Can you recall your ranks, like the timeline for your ranks, and which one was the most difficult for you?
Ooh. my ranks. Let's see. I think I got to when I got started. Chris Bailey and Daryl Badley, who's a four-star director on my team, they got started and they beat me to one-star director. All right, both of them are under me. So I think they got to one-star director. It may have taken them, I don't know, maybe 30 days or something like that or so.
Wow.
It took me about maybe 45 days or so. I'm not 100% sure to get the one-star director. And then I hit two-star director in, let me see, August, September, October, November, December. So in December. So I started in August the 23rd. I hit two-star director in December. That's when I hit two-star director. All right. And then I hit three-star director in, was it, I think it was February. No, it was in March because we went to Mexico. So it was in March. In fact, we were in Mexico at a dinner show at the um, at the Grand Palladium at the Costa Mares. And I remember I was sitting there and I kept saying, "Wow, I'm like three people from three-star director, and I'm trying to figure it out." So the dinner show is going on, and I'm on the phone calling people back home in the United States, trying to show them the membership to get signed up so that I could hit three-star while I was on vacation. And I'll never forget, we had about, I don't know, maybe it was about 50 of us at the dinner show. So we had a whole entire section for us reserved. And when I hit it, when it happened, the last person signed up when I was on the phone. I was like, "Why are you on the phone?" And when she signed up, I just showed my phone to Vegas guys who were sitting there doing shots of tequila. All right. And I held my phone up and I was like, y'all are now looking at your newest three-star director. And all of us erupted. I mean, they were going crazy, the whole team. And everybody in the dinner show thought, like, what just happened? Like, did somebody come out on the stage and perform? Like, what is going on? They didn't realize why everybody was screaming is because I hit three-star director.
Wow.
But but so I hit ambassador. It took me a year and 3 months to get to ambassador. And 3 months later, I hit two-star ambassador. And then 7 months later, just recently in Orlando, is when I went to two-star ambassador. And the way that happened is while I was in Orlando on Thursday, Thursday night, there's a guy named Dominique Nichols who's under Kim Woo. These are all like really heavy hitters. Like they're really good. And he was just being challenged, right? He was one day, he said, "I can put 30 people in if I wanted to right now." And I was just like, "Okay, do it. Let me see you do it." And this is while I was in Orlando. They were in Charlotte. And he put 27 people in less than 24 hours personally.
Wow.
I needed 25 in order to become a two-star ambassador. He did it in 24 hours, and that's how I became a two-star ambassador from what he did.
Wow, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. Such a
Yeah.
team, right? What our business about the team.
Yes. It's always team, 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 team. So, but if you hang around long enough, you'll find people like that, right? I have a mentor. One of my mentors in the industry, he told me one of the biggest things he used to always say to me is, "Be here a year from now," right? And I never understood it for. I said, "Be here. Just remember this. Be here a year from now." I kept saying, "Okay, I mean, what is that?" Well, what it means is it's usually going to take you a year for you to be convinced that this is real. It usually takes a year for you to really hone in on your skills, hone in on the understanding of what this is. Don't miss any training events. That's another thing he said. Well, that gave me the vision to see people actually winning and say, "Well, this got to be real because if they're winning and this person is excited, then I can do it too." So to be here a year from now was the biggest thing for me because a lot of people get in and they don't give themselves enough time to have any type of success and they quit, right? He knew that in a year, even if I didn't sign up one single person in a year, I would see the vision and understand it, right? And
Mm.
so that's the one thing that I tell people now: be here a year from
Clear.
now, right?
Okay.
And keep going.
Okay, it's what you're saying like normally to your people, right? Can we ask
Absolutely.
you, what is your bigger vision for the future with Travorium, for yourself and for your team?
Oh man, for my team, I want to be like Igor. I want to have 1,000 ambassadors. That's what I want. All right. I want people. I want. You know what? I want. I want to have 1,000 people with back problems. I want them all to have back problems. I want them to be able to call their jobs and say they don't see themselves coming back. That's what I want. And for myself, it's my why. My grandson. I have a 4-year-old grandson, and I brought him out on stage out in Orlando. He means the world to me, and I just thought about the advantages that some people have in life, some head starts that people have in life to be able to have the type of life that they deserve, right? And a lot of them have to struggle because they fall behind because the people ahead of them didn't make any type of sacrifices, right, to
Yes.
set a course and a path for legacy for them. So when I look at my grandson, I just keep thinking to myself, like, listen, I had to go through the trenches in order for me to have the type of life that I have right now. But I'm going to do it so that you have a head start, so that you have a better way of living, right? Because it's not getting any easier. It's
Yes.
just not. The world is not getting any easier. I just wanted to make it so that my grandson has a head start and has an opportunity to be able to have the life that he deserves. And that's so what do I want to see out of this for myself, my family? I want to be able to leave a legacy for my children and my children's children so that they have a head start in life and to be able to not be bogged down by all of society, right? And that's the biggest thing for me.
Wow, wow. Thank you for sharing. Oh my God, I didn't know that you have a grandson.
I do. I have a grandson.
As I hear everyone saying like grandchildren and the biggest motivation, right? Like for me now, my children are motivation, but they say like when you have a grandchildren, it's a
Oh,
different level.
it is. Anna, when you have grandkids, hopefully no time soon, but when you have grandkids, oh my goodness, you're going to lose it. Your kids are going to be mad at you, okay? They're going to be mad because they're going to be like, well, you didn't do this for me, or how do you love them so much, and why are you doing this? And I didn't get away with that, and how are they able to do this? And you're like, hey, calm down. It's my grandchild. My grandchild can have whatever. All right?
Oh, wow. Um, can you share, Harlan, how do you work with your personal records?
Um, how do I work with my personal recruits? The first thing I really do is I just tell them to latch on to me, right? And I tell them to just pay close attention to what I do, pay close attention to my efforts, pay close attention. And I also talk to them about building relationships, right? I think the biggest thing for my new recruits is they have to be tied to somebody other than myself so that they can get other perspectives. And that then, a lot of times when they meet other people who have different stories, then it resonates. Something may resonate with that person that locks them in, right? And then what I do is at that point, I tell them, hey, listen, well, let's get you started the right way. Let's get your launch set up. So every personal person that gets started with me, we do a business launch. All right. And my business launch theory is you have 5 to 7 days to tell me which date you want. I'm gonna give you options, but you only have 5 to 7 days, and you have to tell me what that date is right then and there. And so when they give me that date, what I do is I create the flyer for them and then put the date on them, and I just tell them we don't cancel travel parties. That's a rule. A rule is we don't cancel travel parties. All right, we just don't. So once you set it, that's it. It's done. You got because some people try to come up with different type of excuses. They scared. Nobody's responding, and I tell them, listen, just send the invitation out the way that I asked you to send it out. I don't care who shows up. Doesn't matter. If no one shows up and just the team, guess what we'll do? We're gonna have a training. We're going to turn a presentation into a training, right? But we're going to get some value out of this. So I just put, and I get it on the calendar. and I said this before on the run to ambassador. If you really want to hit ambassador, I hated writing. Right? I just used to. I wasn't a person like writing. Somebody told me, listen, if you want to see your dreams come true, write it down. So I took my calendar and I started writing everybody's launch date manually in pen on my calendar. So when I was done and I looked at the calendar was full. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be exhausted. But I filled the calendar up and then we just started doing all of the travel parties every day, live travel parties every day,
Every day, during the
every day,
week, not only
every,
weekends, right?
every day. Every day.
Wow.
Listen, and Anna, and we did this, and I have a 9 to 5 job. So after work, we do a travel party, 7 o'clock, 7:30. Didn't matter. After work, 7, we go to the next person's house. After work, 7 o'clock. After work, 7 o'clock. On the weekends, 3 o'clock. Sundays, 4 o'clock. And we just kept repeating that every day. We just kept going. And that's what we do. So all of the new, and then when the new people get started, guess what they have? 5 to 7 days. What date works best for you? Which one of these? And then we set theirs. And we just repeat that. And that's how it is that this business has started to grow the way that it has.
Wow, wow. Thank you for sharing, Harlan. It's something new for us. Um, can I ask you also, like, can you give us a quick invitation how you do like elevator pitch for someone like, I don't
Oh
know.
my gosh. I got a ton of them. So I'm gonna give you a couple. One of them, she's gonna be mad at me for this. But one of them is I'll give you a cold market and I'll give you a warm market. My cold market, one of the things I did was I was in a restaurant and I was standing near the bar and Naima Edwards, who's now a 4-star director, she and my three-star director Tracy Malone, they were sitting at the bar, and I just started talking loud. I was like, "Oh yeah," on the phone. And I was like, oh, yeah, well, yeah, I just got back from Mexico and it only cost me $529 total for two people to stay at the 5-star all inclusive. I was like, oh, we had an amazing time, right? And I started talking, I was like, oh, yeah, and then Witchcom just came back from Dubai. Here's the trip to Dubai. That was only $1. And I was like, man, that's crazy. She heard me talking about it. And she said, excuse me, I don't mean to be in your business, but I just heard you talk about going to a 5-star all inclusive for 500 something dollars for two people. How did you do that? And I was like, ha ha. So I said, oh, so I said, well, it's just through, my private club that I have access to. I said, wow. I said, you travel? And she was like, yeah, I travel. I said, what? I said, oh. I said, well, she said, yeah. And she said, well, is it something that I can see? I said, absolutely. So I said, listen, give me your information. I said, and then I'll get back with you and I'll show it to you, at some time. And she said, okay. And that was it. I got her telephone number and I never said anything else again about it. Like the conversations went about I never talked about travel or anything else again. The reason why, and I want you all to understand this, because what happens is you start talking too much, and then what happens is you're starting to try to give somebody a presentation, and now you talk them into not even wanting to see it. So I invited her to get on Daryl and Maria Roberts Zoom. She saw it, she loved it, she got started, and now she's about to be an ambassador. All right, that's the code.
Wow.
That's one code market. Let me get a second code market. Um, I asked somebody. So Anna, if I see you out, I say, Anna, do you like to travel, Anna?
Yes, I love.
Oh wow, okay. What kind of places do you travel? Where do you go? What kind of places do you travel to?
I travel for more than 30 destinations, but I still
What?
have some in my bucket list.
Oh yeah. Wow. So let me ask you a question. How do you book your travel? Like what do you use? How do you book it?
I am a smart traveler. I always love to travel with discounts. I know how to find the good deals.
Oh, how do you find them? Like, what do? You just go on the internet and find good deals? Like what? Give
Yeah,
me
I
one that you use.
like internet, or sometimes I work for some companies where you could get discounts for airplanes or for hotels.
Oh, so you go through the internet to get your discounts.
Yes, yes,
So you telling me you actually go through the internet to find your discounts?
yes.
Why? Like you don't. So why would you do that? So when you do that, you know that you're giving people a lot of unnecessary money, right?
Yeah, someone need to pay
So
for it. But
here's what happens, Anna. Let me tell you what happens. When you start going on the internet and you start searching for a bunch of different prices, they're there to make money off of you for travel, right?
yes.
So what happens is you go on there and you start paying all this extra money, and they keep the money for you to actually book travel. But I will never ever in my life use the internet to go search for travel ever again. And it's unfortunate that you don't know the new way to travel.
How it's possible? How you do that?
There you go. So now, so you really want to know the new way to travel? Okay, give me your number. I'll hook you up. I'll show you. But whatever you do, please stop giving them all your money.
Great. I'm ready to join your team.
So then, now I get your information, and all I do is I say, Anna, hey, listen, remember when I told you how it is you was wasting all of your money giving it to? All right, now we're gonna show you how it is you don't have to waste that money. And I got something extra that may or may not intrigue you, but I'm telling you, though, at the least, you're gonna be happy about the fact of what you're about to see right now. Then you see the presentation.
Okay.
All
But
right,
you
warm market, family members, friends, all of those. Um, Again, the objective is to get them to see the presentation, right? Sometimes I ask somebody, a close family member, let me ask you a question. Do you value our friendship? Yes. Am I worth 45 minutes of your time? Yes, I am. Okay. At 7:30, I want you to be on the Zoom link that I'm going to send you. If I'm worth 45 minutes of your time, I'd like for you to be on that Zoom. After that 45 minutes is up, I'm going to call you, and the only thing I want from you is I want your opinion.
Mhm.
And that's it. So what happens is, if you ask somebody, "Are you worth 45 minutes of your time?" and it's a close friend, can you imagine your close friend telling you no, you're not worth 45 minutes of their time? You think they'll tell you that, Anna?
I hope not.
No,
But some
they're
of
not.
them, yes.
No. If somebody tells you that, then you probably don't want them to have this membership with you.
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
Right.
Or like this way we know who is not our real friends, right?
Exactly. Right. Then there's some warm market where I just share my story, or I can say, "Hey, listen, my buddy Chris just went to Dubai to Dubai, stayed at a 5-star hotel, and it literally cost him $1 to do it." And then I shut up and I let them ask me a question. Ain't no way it cost him $1 to do it. Yes, it did. I saw it for myself. How? That's all you want. As soon as they ask you how, you just tell them, well, he's going to be showing us how at 7:30 tonight. That's how. So what are you doing at 7:30? And another thing that I do too is I play to win. So anytime you invite somebody to get on the Zoom, you have to play to win, right? You're going to be on my terms. Meaning, if I say to you, Anna, hey Anna, listen, are you available at 7:30? And or I say to you, hey Anna, listen, real quick, what are you doing at 7:30 tonight? And you say, oh, I'm busy, I have to go, do it. I say, okay, all right, then I'll get back with you later, okay? And you're like, well, what's going on? I'll be like, nothing. Listen, I'll just get back with you. I gotta go, and I got some other phone calls to make. I'll get back with you. And then I get off the phone with you. One, you have to be in a hurry, right? Because if you're in a hurry, people want to know, why are you so busy? What are you so excited about? And why are you so busy, right? Now, if you're busy, and then what's going to happen is, if I get off the phone with you, Anna, in your mind, you're wondering, well, what did he want?
Yeah.
Like, maybe he could have been calling me to take me to the Beyonce concert. Maybe he could have, and I just wrote him off saying I was busy. I don't know. So the next time I ask you, hey Anna, listen, what are you doing tonight at 7:30? You're gonna be like, well, I'm free tonight because I had to worry about what I missed the last time you asked me that question. So what's going on, right? You didn't sound like you was trying to press me out. Now, if you are available, I just say, okay, listen, 7:30, I want you to be by your laptop. All right. I'm going to send you a link at 7:15 on the dot. When 7:20, I want you to click on that link. I'm going to be on there also. And I'm going to show you something that you are not going to believe. It completely blew my mind, and I had to show it to you. All right. That's how it is that you can invite for the warm market to get people on. Again, the objective is just to get everybody to see it.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Harlan. It's like we have now some examples, right? How to do it the right way with the most difficult market, your close friends.
The most difficult market. Now, you also have to be okay with no, or you have to be okay with them ignoring you, right? Um, it doesn't become as difficult when you take your emotions out of it.
Mhm.
Right. Sometimes it's not geared towards you. I told you, some people are scared to make the wrong decision. So it's not really that they don't trust you. It's just that they don't trust themselves. They don't trust themselves to make the right decision. So I had a guy who just signed up the other day, and he saw this 2 years ago. Well, he watched me build it. He watched me travel. He see me on social media. He just put likes and likes and likes, but never commented. Then when I saw him at the golf course 2 years later, he was just like, "Man, I see you doing it. Like you doing it big. Like you really doing this thing." And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah, I should have gotten it 2 years ago when you first told me about it." And then I said, "Yeah." I said, "I mean, but it's fine. Sometimes, timing is everything." He said, "So is it too late?" I said, "No, it's never too late." He signed up right there, standing in the parking lot,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
now he's excited. He signed up his wife. She's excited, and now we're about to do a massive launch for them.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, you see, it's work for some people after some time, right? They see what you do and they also want to do the same.
That's the be here a year from now part, right? That would have never happened if I had quit.
Yes, for sure, for sure. You're an example, right? And they're like, okay, it's
Right.
working for him. We want to do the same. Okay,
Yeah.
let's do two more questions because our time, I know I told you we will try to do 45 minutes. We're already
Okay.
out of
It's
the
okay.
time.
I'm good.
You're good? Okay. I would like to ask you, okay, we ask a lot of things about business. Let's ask about the travel. How
Yeah.
many trips have you taken?
Oh
Where and
man.
how much, if you know, like what was your total savings with travel?
So I'll tell you. First of all, I've probably been. I know I've been on about maybe 13 since I've been a member. But I'm going to tell you about five of them. Okay. So I went to Costa Harris twice, stayed at that Grand Palladium, my wife and I, all both all inclusive. I went to Jamaica, Montego Bay, stayed at 5 star all inclusive. We went to Dubai. I stayed at at the JW
Mm-hmm.
Marriott, Dubai, in the executive corner suite. Beautiful. Oh my gosh. And then from there, we went to Thailand, stayed at the Hyatt Regency in Phuket. And I went to Vail, Colorado, stayed at the Grand Hyatt, and Vail is beautiful. I think some of you may have gone to Vail. Um, and all of those combined cost me less than $2,000.
Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah, yeah. It's cool. Where could you get these prices, right?
Exactly. As they say, memberships have its privileges.
Yes. Um, can I ask you one question from our black box? What a personal secret of success and your insight of story you never shared before?
Mm. Okay, so let me see. Personal secret of success, because the never shared before. I might have to really dig deep and think. All right, but the personal story of success, um, personal secret of success. Honestly, it, I'd say it's doing live events. Like I can't stress the live travel parties enough. I think that's it. That's the biggest. That's my biggest secret to doing this. Is it's so easy to get on Zooms, and then you may see people whose screen is showing at the ceiling, or they off somewhere else, or like it's really building relationships. And so the secret of the success to me is being in someone's personal space to be able to share with them, and then people buy into you, right? So if I can say this now, if you all really want to get a massive growing where people don't quit, where people because people it's easy to quit a business, but it's harder to quit a friendship,
Mhm.
right? And so when you develop relationships with people as you build, they don't want to quit that. They'll pay $135 a month just because they don't want to lose that. It's easy to quit a membership, right? It's a bill. You can quit that but you can't quit a relationship easy, especially one that you value. So that's what we create. We create value in relationships, and we build that. That's the biggest secret is build relationships when you're doing these travel parties with people, and they want to be around you.
Yeah, wow, wow. Thank you. Yeah, it's really big. Like tonight, you told us a lot about of your travel parties, right? It's probably one of the biggest secrets of your success for you, for your team. And
Yeah.
we are so grateful, Harlan, for your time. Thank you for sharing. It was like I learned so much, and now we will listen the recording, all your all the help that you give it to us. Now we will have extra help with invitation, even for our close friends. Thank
Yeah.
you
Well,
so
you're
much.
welcome. You're
Thank you
welcome.
everyone for your time for Friday evening spending with an ambassador, with a millionaire, getting like let's say one more training, right? How to do what to do and how to do that to reach the same level. Thank you so much everyone and see you not next month on third Friday and hopefully you will join us again. Thank you, Haron, one more time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye
Enjoy your
bye.
weekend, everyone, and enjoy travel Paris.